1994, Fitzroy leading North Melbourne 2-7-19, 20 and a half minutes gone in the final quarter.
I'll tell you what, the hardest job we're going to have tonight to pick Fitzroy's best player, because they're all playing well. It goes towards Wilson, but a good mark taken there. No, he didn't play the mark to Henshaw. Picked up by Cowton. The hand pass over to Casson. Casson getting the ball wide out towards that wing position, but there's Hodges in the way to take the mark at the back of Alves that time. The kicks have been scarce down there for the North Melbourne forwards. Out it goes. The mark taken out here by Padley. Going for a short pass, but Greg, lovely mark. And this fella's given his all tonight. He's really played well for North Melbourne. And the rest of the side haven't been really going well. The ball back now. They're all flying. There's too many Fitzroy players, and there'll be a free kick. The free kick to go to Hodges again, out there on the wing position this time. A little further up towards the Fitzroy goal. Looking for Robert Walls. He's surrounded by plenty of players. Kicked off the ground by Padley up towards Condon and Henshaw. Henshaw's down. He can't get up. Kicked off the ground again by McCarthy. Going after it now is Montgomery and cuts the ball out of bounds. Out of bounds up towards the Fitzroy forward pocket position. About 30 metres around from their goal. They're 94 points to North Melbourne 19. They haven't scored a goal since the 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter. Pickett goes there, and we see Casson go down pretty heavily, and the umpire said it's out of bounds. They're going in very hard. They're a very enthusiastic side, Fitzroy. They're not making a close one of this tonight because they've lost about 6 games this year, very close ones. Henshaw over to Ick. Ick goes for a pass. It's all right, and Boys has got the mark out there on the half-back line. All the sting's gone out of the game at the moment because Fitzroy are doing it very easy. As we see Schimmelbusch take one of his few marks for the day or the night, and he gets a hand pass over to Glendenning. He should have a running shot for goal. If he's smart, he has a long boot for the goal, and what's the result? Well, he's up target and through for 1 point, so they still can't score a goal from that 3.5-minute mark in the first quarter, and they go to 2 goals, 8-20 to North Melbourne 13-6. Fitzroy 13-16, 94 at the 22.5 minutes.
So Padley off to North Melbourne for Fitzroy.
On the ground is Peter Brown. Ball pushed out by Keys. He's done a great job. Well, he could go right through the Fitzroy side. The entire back line's been great. Irwin's played a magnificent game since half-time, and Alexander hasn't stopped. And, of course, Robert Walls, when they were really struggling the first part of the game, he was a magnificent centre-half forward, battling well all day. And there's a free kick going to Keys. Talk about him. He's really battled hard. He's probably won the We Try Harder award, this guy, Bob, I'd say. Ball back now towards the half-back line. And Nick getting up high, but he wasn't good enough on a mark taken here by Serafini. A hand pass over there to Wilson. Wilson gets it back looking for Walls off the top of the pack. McMahon backing up pretty well. Got plenty of time to do something with it, but it's a bad hand pass. In goes Keith Grigg, still battling his hardest. Full marks to me. Hasn't given up one bit. Setting the captain's example there, but the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position. 22.5 minutes gone, or 23 minutes gone of this last quarter. 94 points, Fitzroy to North Melbourne, 20 points. The ball comes back in now. Wick trying to battle out to get it. He's in plenty of trouble as he gives a hand pass over to McCann. McCann gets it back, but once again Keys is in the way. Gets it back, and a mark taken here by Montgomery at half-back for North Melbourne.
Ken Montgomery now to relieve the pressure for the Northerners momentarily into the centre of the ground, and here they go. They're going forward. Kick forward by Huppert. Huppert's kick in towards centre-half forward. Baker comes out, shepherded by Glendenning. And Phil Baker just can't get his hands on the ball. There's Glendenning again. They go for a hand pass at Jarrett. Jarrett in towards the right forward pocket, but it beats all players. A poor pass, really. And we'll see a boundary throw in to take place some 25 metres around from the behind post. North Melbourne in attack, and that's been a rarity since the first 5 minutes of the game. Ruckman setting themselves. Hansen goes up, knocks the ball down to Wilson. That was good ruck work. Gary Wilson gets pushed in the back by Billy Nettelfeld, and naturally he'll get the free kick. Well, if somebody said Fitzroy would be more than 70 points in front of North Melbourne at this stage of the night, you wouldn't believe them. You'd call the police fair dinkum. But they've played brilliant football. Boundary throw in once more. Alexander and Alves just next to the players in the change area. Very close to the time-on period of the final quarter, and fans sensing a Fitzroy victory. Knocked down to Boys, but it's knocked away from him and turned back to Alexander over to Wilson, who fished the ball forward for Fitzroy once more up to Thompson, and Thompson now is clear. He kicks Fitzroy in towards their left half-forward or half-forward flank. Casson with the ball for North Melbourne, gets the free kick and decides to play on straight away. Casson into the centre of the ground, safe mark to Irwin. Irwin in turn over to Wilson once more, the two Fitzroy small stars. Cowton doing battle with McCarthy. Free kick going to Cowton against McCarthy. Gary Carlton from centre half back to drive North Melbourne forward now. The drop punt kick lands just wide of the centre of the ground. Here's a chance for Chris Smith. He's on his own. Burns comes in for the Kangaroos. Linton back on the ground for Fitzroy. Dives on top of the ball. Can't get it out of the pack. They're all trying to have a go. Hubbards eventually for North Melbourne picks up. Drive the Kangaroos in towards the full forward zone. Punched away from all players, but it comes out... oh, by golly, they're all having an attack of the fumbles there. The hand passes to Elves. Elves has a shot for goal for North Melbourne and has put it out of bounds on the full, and I guess that typifies North Melbourne's forward efforts tonight. So the scores, 2-8-20 North Melbourne, Fitzroy 13-16-94 as we are now into the time-on period. Hansen
taking that penalty free kick, and it's the 1978 Amco Herald Premiership for Fitzroy for sure, as we see Alexander getting it out. He taps it over to Wilson, but they're doing it easy, Fitzroy, even though Wilson's making hard work of this, but it doesn't matter. Alexander backs up well. He's played a darn good game too. Over to Thompson, another hand pass coming over now to Irwin. Been a sensation since half-time, and as a matter of fact, he only had 2 kicks up till that time of the match. Over to Quinn, another long hand pass coming back, and then we see Peter Brown having a running shot for goal. And it's through for 1 point. So Fitzroy go to 13 goals, 17-95 to North Melbourne. 2 goals, 8-20 at the 26.5-minute mark of this last quarter, and still North Melbourne yet to score a goal from that 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
I think they might have them now, Lou.
I'd say that was pretty right, Bob. I'd like to bet my Bogarts on that. Or back into play again. There's Campbell going down the ground. He knows that his side has this victory in the bag, and a short pass coming over to Wilson now in that half-forward flank position. Another pass, and there's Irwin. Through the good work of Alexander, these small players have really bobbed up since half-time. They really broke away in the third quarter. Irwin looking there for McCarthy, and he's got the mark down there in the forward pocket.
Lou, it's been Wolves that set the whole thing up, though. His first half, and he's carried it on right throughout. And, Wolves have been a great player tonight. Great player.
Certainly been, it must be very enlightening for Fitzroy to have this player playing well now, because, after all the trouble to get him. And finally McCarthy fires, and he's put it through for 1 point, and at the 27.5-minute mark we see Fitzroy 13-18-96 to North Melbourne 2-8-20, and of course their certainties now to be the champs of 1978 for the Amco Herald Cup. It's been a very disappointing performance by the top side of the league, North Melbourne, because they've been put out of business since the word go. The ball knocked out, picked up here by Hassan over to Henshaw, gets one in the back, and he'll take the free kick down there on that half-back line. Henshaw kicking the ball back there. Hickett in the front, but Quinlan's a bit too tall. Couldn't grab the mark, but there we see Boys trying his hardest to get the ball back towards their half-forward line. But once again, coming up there as Brian Smith gets a wild kick up towards the wing position. Picked up by Thompson. He gets upended that time by Casson, but the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing. There's a siren at the end. Fitzroy, the 1978 champions in the Amco Herald Cup Championships. 13 goals, 18-96, defeating North Melbourne. 2 goals, 8-20.
What an incredible match. North Melbourne kicked 2 goals in the first 3.5 minutes. And it must have been 1,000,000 to 1 that they will be the only goals they would score for the match. Very jubilant. Graham Campbell, Bernie Quinlan will be having the presentation shortly as the crowd streams onto the field. But let's take this break from the studios, and we'll be back very shortly for the presentation of the 1978 Amco Herald Cup.